Have you ever purchased a striped t-shirt or sweater from the store and realized that the stripes weren't exactly horizontal? They were just a little bit askew. Welcome to this week's episode of the Cutting Edge Leadership in Apparel Development. This week I want to talk a little bit about how cutting a stripe is actually a lot more complicated than you think. And if you're not working with a manufacturer who understands the nuances of cutting a stripe, you could find yourself in some trouble when you get to production. When a stripe is being knit into a bolt of fabric, there is technically going to be a little bit of skew that happens in the knitting process. There is also a certain amount of torque that happens through that knit, which is going to pull in one certain direction once you sew the garment together. If a factory isn't familiar with the horizontals being slightly askew, and they cut all of your pieces on a straight grain, exactly how they would for a regular woven or a regular knit, you're going to find that your stripes actually look a little bit slanted. You're probably also going to find that that shirt is going to pull just a little bit to the left or to the right, depending on how your factory sews it, which is going to make it a little bit uncomfortable for your consumer. If you're trying to get a stripe made and you want it to be in a beautiful t-shirt, there are a couple of things that you can do while working with your factory to make sure that they do it right. Number one, you want to tell them to make sure that they're cutting that horizontal stripe exactly perfectly, which means that their marker is going to need to be adjusted so that it's not 100% on the straight grain. This seems very counterintuitive, but walking them through it to make sure that your stripe is truly horizontal is going to be key. One way to indicate to your customer that your striped garment is of the highest quality is to make sure that you have your stripes matching at your side seam. Now, it can be really difficult to get your stripe to match in all areas of your garment because of the way that the pieces are going to be cut, but stripes matching at your side seam is going to indicate that you knew exactly what you were doing. Now, I will mention that matching stripes at any place on your garment is going to cost you extra money, but this is why. It's because it's not very typical and it's not very easy to do so. If your customer is nuanced and they understand anything about cutting a stripe, they are going to be looking for your stripe to match at the side seams at least. We literally just went through my closet to try to find some props for this video, and there wasn't a single striped shirt in there that didn't match at the side seams, because I know what I'm looking for when I'm shopping. If you have any additional questions about matching a stripe, cutting a stripe, or any kind of garment construction at all, please reach out to us at unmarkedstreet.com/contact. We'd love to hear from you and talk to you about your project.